Hey everyone, am I live yet? Hasn't told me I'm live. Hasn't sent me a message I'm live. There, I think I'm live now. Hi everyone, Brittany Shawley here. We are on day 5 of our 5 keys to well-nourished motherhood. How are you feeling? Have you enjoyed this experience? I know I've really enjoyed it. I felt so much received so much value from all the interviewers this week, and I've loved connecting with you guys and really sharing from my heart and soul. It always just fills me up to help turn mothers in the direction of self-care because we are so important. Our role is so needed, and we are so worthy of this love and care every single day. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being with me during this adventure. And it doesn't end here. We're just getting started. So if you guys are popping in, just say hello, whether you're in the replay or you're watching this recorded. I also would love to know what part of this week impacted you the most. What message stood out to you, or what speaker stood out to you? I would really, really love to know. And I feel like those bits of wisdom that you received by just sharing them in the comments, you're sharing them with other people to receive them too. So yeah. As you guys will see today, I'm in my office. I'm not in my living room. That is because I have what is it called? A wheel. Can you guys see that? All of your names who have participated this week are in there, and we are going to be doing some draws at the end of this to win some fabulous free gifts. They are such generous gifts, and I'm excited to give those away. So thank you guys for being here. If anybody's watching, let me know. Being on the desktop is so different on the phone. I can't see any faces or bubbles, which I would normally click on to go live, or I see the interaction, but I don't. So say what's up to me. Let me know this is working. And so yeah, you guys, today what we're going to be focusing on is meals. And many of you mamas, I've talked with you, and some of the biggest pain points are not knowing what meals to make, not knowing how to make them delicious or well-rounded. So today I'm going to be going through mainly 3 things with you. One of them is, what is well-balanced meal? What does that look like? Do I have to be vegetarian, vegan, paleo, keto? What is all that stuff? Hey, Basha, good to see you, honey. Thank you for being here. So we're going to go through what a well-rounded meal looks like, a well-balanced meal. And then we're going to talk about how to make it delicious, because honestly, that is one of the most important parts, is having everybody eat our meals. And also just some family-friendly recipes. I've created an entire PDF of 20 of my most favorite recipes that are all well-rounded based on today's theme. You will see them at the link above. They're there for you. Oh, hey, Kara. Yes, they're working now. Welcome, welcome. Glad the comments are popping up. Good to see you, ladies. So I'm excited. This is going to be a good one. So after I go through this training here on meals, we will discuss a little bit about a giant passion of mine, kitchen alchemy course that I've created. I'm so excited to share that with you. I'll just take maybe 5 minutes of your time and explain what all that is. And then after that, we will draw the winners, and all of your names are in there. And so that part I'm really looking forward to too. So let's dive in, you guys. I'm going to want to see what your thoughts are on this too. So when I say well-balanced meal or well-rounded meal, what does that mean to you? What does that look like for you in your mind? If I were to explain what that is, it's easier for me to draw it. So I'm going to draw it for you guys. And anybody who's just listening, I will try and explain it through words to the best of my ability. So don't think you have to look at the screen, because I know some of you said you'll be watching this while you drive. But there's my plate. Okay, just a regular circle for a plate. And we were talking about a well-balanced meal here. And the first thing that I'm doing is I'm cutting it in half. Okay, half of this side over here is your veggies or your fruit. I devote an entire half a plate or half of a serving to your fruits and vegetables. And then the other side very easily is cut into, what do you guys think it would be cut into? There it is. Protein, fat, fiber. I love it. I love it. And I'm going to add that over here on this side and on this side. So you guys can't see what I'm writing, but I'll hold it up. Da, 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 da. Hey, Angelica. Good to see you, honey. Welcome, welcome. We're talking about the well-balanced meals right now. So this side over here, your veggies and fruit. I wrote fruit twice. That's supposed to say fiber, because fiber is one of the most essential things to get into your body, and we are going to be talking about that a lot later. That is what helps you poop, helps bind everything together, gets all the nastiness out of your body, and pretty much our fruits and vegetables are tons of fiber. But even in this category, we'll include our like superfoods and stuff like that, but we'll talk about that later. Let's just keep it simple. Half of it fruits and vegetables. The other side is split between your protein, your whole grains, and your fat. Okay, what's really important is not only to have your micronutrients, which is your vegetables and your fruit, but your macros are super duper uber important. And when we're in the category of protein, it doesn't matter if you're plant-based protein, it doesn't matter if you're a meat eater. You can get your protein from both sources, and I have resources for both. Whole grains is also super important and necessary. I find sometimes, however, if I have like a massive salad or something as part of dinner, whole grains aren't as necessary, but I find when we're having to feed our husbands and we have our children, whole grains are essential to ensure that they have a well-balanced meal. And then fats are like the drizzling over top, or the avocado on the side, or the few nuts or seeds. So it's not like a lot of fat, it's like a drizzle of a fat, but fat is essential for brain functioning, for everything that's going on in the body. So let's kind of like break this down. My friend teaches PFF is your best friend forever. I love that, PFF. Yes, totally. And it keeps it simple that way, doesn't it? It really, really does. I love it. So let's kind of like break this down, you guys. I want you to shoot out some of your most favorite fruits and vegetables, or least favorite fruits and vegetables, and we can add on some exciting ideas onto those. I love when people say they don't like vegetables and give them recipe ideas. Let's shoot out some veggies and fruit. We were talking in this group yesterday about squash. There's like so many squashes, but I'm just gonna write squash. That'll include butternut squash, acorn squash, even zucchini squash, spaghetti squash. What else? Where's your fruit and veggies, guys? We've got obviously our apples, tons of fiber in the skin. I'm a big fan of eating the whole apple, because the fiber is in the skin, and that's essential for breaking everything down and the proper absorption of nutrients. Squash, apples, come on guys, where are we? Let's see. Obviously, broccoli. Ella actually came home from school yesterday and they asked, like, what is your favorite meals to eat or favorite foods to eat? And she said broccoli. She said cauliflower and apples. I'm like, yeah, girl, I'm proud of you. Cauliflower is like one of my favorites. You guys like eggplant? Are you eggplant fans? We can go on forever. One of my favorite things is to remember too that when we're eating these fruits and vegetables, the ones that have the most nutrient dense components to it are like the leaves. So we'll talk about like the kale or the romaine or the spring lettuce or just even sprouts. These are the ones that are most nutrient dense and you do want to get the most of, but all of these other ones are fabulous. Sweet potatoes, regular potatoes. I'm not driving now, Nikki says. Avocado, which is why my 2-year-old sadly hates texture, I guess. What do you mean why she hates texture? Avocado is one of the best fats on the face of the planet. I actually sent avocado my daughter's lunch today. I just put a little lemon on top so it doesn't go brown. And she loves it. She sticks like a spoon in there, puts in our little crackers. I put avocado over here because that's a healthy fat. One of our favorites. Let's keep going in the fats category too. Nuts and seeds. If you're gonna choose oils, guys, keep to like coconut oil or olive oil or sesame oil. Canola oil really ruins the gut. It's really not good for us at all. Okay, how about some proteins? Who in here is, because we're just getting out a few ideas, we're not getting it out of all of them, obviously, but who here is a meat eater? Hands up. And who here is like more vegan vegetarian? Let me know below. That helps me to kind of help you to like decide what recipes are best for you. I was like a vegetarian vegan for a good 9 years. I traveled the world like that. I mostly raised my daughter like that. In the last year and a half, we've incorporated more meat into our life because we found what's called like a butcher box, and they deliver meat to your front door, and it's all pastured, it's farm raised, it's local. We know the people. It's a very community oriented, focused kind of thing. And I'm a really big fan that when we are eating, we're not just eating to not be full, but we are eating to nourish our bodies and nourish the growing bodies of our babies. And also, we want to contribute to a healthy environment with which we live, which means we want to think about the farmer and where it's coming from, and we want to think about how they raise their animals if they are, animal raisers. We want to know what, pesticides they use and so forth, and be really conscious about where we are putting our food dollars, because to me, I kind of decide upon the world that I want based on my food dollars. Right, so I will often pay a little bit more for higher premium items because I know where it's sourced, and I know the intent, and I know that there's not like the added junk in it. But I'm like the biggest fan of getting like your raw fruits, your raw vegetables, your raw grains, your raw proteins, and then having your creative flair and spices bring them all together into a delicacy. And it doesn't have to take a long time. All you really need is simple ingredients, and you can make simple things out of it. Nikki, I love it. I'll keep trying with her. Yes, keep trying with her. Right now it's struggle with the fat. What's interesting about that is I started with my daughter, like when we like steam cauliflower, for instance. Once it's steamed, I add coconut oil and salt, and she will eat like a whole bowl, whether it's warm at dinner or even after as a snack. And even roasting vegetables is like heaven in our home, and that always has olive oil on it, olive oil and pink salt. That's like our jam. I just like keep things simple, and like they're so delicious in their natural form. But totally. And then you say meat eater, but trying to eat more alkaline meals, so more meatless meals 2 to 3 times a week. Beautiful. That seems to be the main ladies around here, is that they still eat meat, but they want to eat meatless a few times a week. So that's fabulous. The recipes that I have above, I want to say 80 to 85% of them are vegan, vegetarian, plant-based meals. And then there's a few other ones kind of sprinkled in with like some chicken and some fish and all that stuff. So we are predominantly still plant-based over here as well. So that's fantastic to hear. And then you're saying apple sauteed in coconut oil and cinnamon. Okay. Yes, 1,000,000%. Can I tell you what's on my counter right now? Apples ready to be peeled. And what I do is I cut them into little chunks, and I was just saying how I love to eat apples with the fiber, which is what we do the majority of the time. But when I do almost similar to what you're talking about, I call it stewed apples. So I like peel the apple, I dice up the apple, I throw it into a little pan, I add a little bit of water with some little bit of coconut oil, cinnamon. I also add cloves in there, cinnamon and cloves, and then I let that with the water stew together, and then it becomes kind of like a little bit like an applesauce, but you still got like the little chunks of apple. It's heaven for my daughter. I was going to make it for her as a snack after school, and I find I make a big batch of it because that's what I like to have in the morning. I'm really careful about how I break my fast and the first thing that I put in my body, so ensuring that like my stewed apples have cloves and cinnamon is really helpful for the digestion. That's kind of like an Ayurvedic method. Cloves, yes. Oh my God, I love them. I'll even like just eat them like it's like a mouth freshener. So funny. And then moving right along. So your protein can be any meat source. We know what those are. I have a bunch of recipes for that on my website, but I really also love like plant-based proteins. So I'm a really big fan of lentils, you guys. But when I make lentils, I like to buy them in the bags, especially during COVID. Stocking up on that stuff is like so important. Sometimes I'll buy my black beans or my chickpeas in cans because it's easier and makes like a quick meal. But if I'm saying, like, let's say I'm making like a vegetarian shepherd's pie, or I'm making like a spaghetti bolognese vegetarian style, then I will need more of the plant-based protein. And so I'm a really big fan of buying them in the bags. And then for instance, if I'm using like green lentils, I soak them for like 24 to 48 hours, and then I drain it and I let it sit for another 24 hours or so, and then I can use them cook them, and at that point they're sprouted and they've been brought back to life, and then they release much more nutrients and they're less gassy and less bloating. And so they also, will cook a lot faster because you've soaked them as well. And so like that's how I like to use it. And then I just flavor the water and then the sauce, and it's delicious. Like I've had some of my biggest meat eater friends fall in love with lentils because of like the pasta sauce I make them or something. It's unbelievable what we can do when we just take the raw ingredients and add some spices and just be creative about it and not be afraid of making a mistake. I have tons of blogs on my website that will teach you how to use spices and how to bring them into your meal and how to trust yourself in that process. So that's really awesome. What is your guys' favorite protein source? I know some people feel like they struggle with that. I always like to remember that there's protein even in vegetables, funny enough. Like even if you eat a whole head of broccoli, that can have more protein than even like a steak the size of your palm. I'm also a really big fan of adding in, like I was mentioning before, like superfoods and seeds. Yesterday, Anna was really big about seed cycling in regards to helping your hormones to come back into basically the proper alignment. And so seeds are profound. For me, the seeds that I use every single day, whether it's in my shake or in some yogurt or in some cereal or even as like a nut butter that we put on like toast or whatnot, are chia. That's number one. We also do chia bowls with chia, use it as like a chia egg in my baking. Flax meal. Flax meal is also the eggs in all of my baking. I find that we also love hemp hearts. Those are really big, high protein packed, high omega-3s. What other seeds? Those are my three favorites. Those are my go-tos all the time. Or pumpkin seeds as well, some sesame seeds and stuff like that. But those are my main ones, and we try and get them in every day. And they just add in the healthy fats, and they add in the healthy proteins, and they add in just the added vitamin and mineral nutritional jump, right? So those are really, really important. I'm also a really big fan of like ferments. I'm going to be getting a lot more into that here in the winter season. So you guys will have to follow along as we make some sourdough starters in here. My sourdough starter went bad this summer. I was so sad, but then I was like, hey, I'll bring you guys on the journey of how I do that. So we're doing that. Really big fan of sauerkraut. Really love kimchi. We also use kefir. That's like our main milk is kefir. But we love in our home like a strawberry or a mango because it can be quite bitter for the kids otherwise. Oh, Nikki, we raise our own chickens, so we eat a lot of that. But quinoa is our favorite. Great to batch cook and add it to meals. 100%. Thank you for saying that. I have some quinoa left over from yesterday, and that is in my fridge right now. And I was going to be adding that to a kale salad tonight for dinner. So you're right, that's a wonderful one to have and then just use in a bunch of different meals. And chickens, I love that you raise your own chickens. That's like the best way to be. We love eggs in our home. That was the main thing why I couldn't be main vegan, because I was like, I just love eggs too much. I love how it feels, and my body legit craves it. And so I'm a big fan of listening to your body and doing what your body needs versus following some diet. Because what we talk about here at Whole and Healthy Kitchen is not a diet. This is 100,000,000% a lifestyle shift. And I don't even want to say change, because we're just continuing to shift into the direction of love and consciousness and like nourishment in all of our decisions. So that could look different for everybody else. So there's no right or wrong answer with this. It's more learning how to listen to your body and listen to what you need and listen to your children and what they need, your family, and go from there. So yay, Kara, I love seeds and nuts. Also love sesame seeds. They're high in iron too. Yes. I love sesame seeds sprinkled on like raw cabbage salads, like a pad thai cabbage salad. I won my mother's heart with that one time, and she went around and like made it for all of her girlfriends. She's like, everybody's gonna love this. Sesame seeds are good too. I kind of forgot about those. It's been a little while. Eggs often make me feel nauseous, and that does for some people. It totally does. And I get that. You know what? I don't really like eggs if they're not like fully cooked. Like my husband likes his boiled eggs a little bit runnier, whereas for me, I'm like, no, like it's got to be cooked all the way through. So like I get that. There's this like fine line with them, and it doesn't work for everybody. But that is pretty much a well-rounded meal, you guys. So the question that I ask myself when I'm making my meal is, where is my protein? Where is my healthy fat? And then, like Kara said, where is my fiber, or where is my vegetables? So I'm always looking to have some sort of green. So like as an example, tonight we are going over to a friend's house. They're our bubble family. They're really the only one we see, and they have a daughter who's close to the same age as my daughter, and they're like besties. And so it's the four of us that are going to get to talk tonight, and they're going to order in pizza. I'm like, okay, great. I'll go in and have pizza on a Friday night. That's fabulous. I'm going to bring a gigantic kale salad because that's how I roll. Like people just know that, right? And I don't have to bring anything. They said I didn't have to, but I'm going to, because if I eat just the pizza, I know I'm going to regret it later and my body's going to feel it and I will have that bloat. If I eat that kale salad first, then the kale salad is what is going to provide my body with the added enzymes that it needs to help break down that pizza so my body can naturally absorb it, so that the any nutrients that are in the salad or in the pizza, you know, is going to be extracted and my body's actually going to be able to use those nutrients. If we don't have the proper fiber and we don't have the proper enzymes to break down those foods, what happens is that food remains in our gut. And when it remains in our gut, it can start to rot, it can start to ferment. And then what happens with that is there's like a cell lining to your stomach, and that food that doesn't properly get digested and doesn't properly break down, it starts to break down the sides of the stomach lining. And that's when we start to hear things like leaky gut. And then you have like the food, those bigger food particles start to leak through the cell walls in your stomach and become part of your bloodstream. And that's what leads to inflammation, and inflammation leads to sickness, and it's just the roller coaster spins out from there. So I'm one of the biggest advocates of eating your greens or your salad before your meal if you can, or at very least with your meal, and to ensure that you have those fiber and the vegetables to help your body to do what it's meant to do. So important. I was having this conversation with one of you guys this week about our parents and how like when I ate when I was little, it was always a big portion of meat. It was like a big portion of like potatoes, let's say, and then corn from a can. Like vegetables were always the last thought. So I try and reverse that, and I say let your vegetables be the first thought. And I found my daughter is now doing the same thing, and she's always looking for her fruits and vegetables first. Doesn't mean she doesn't love the other things, but she knows how much better she feels when she eats her fruits and vegetables. And so yeah, amazing. Moving right along, you guys. Okay, what's the next thing that I wanted to mention? Okay, so the next part about this is kind of like where the magic happens. So now we've talked about the raw ingredients of your vegetables and your fruit and your fat and your protein, your whole grain. Here's where the magic happens. The alchemy happens, where you get to bring these seemingly separate ingredients together and make a whole. That's like where my specialty is, right? And so I have found that when we're thinking about things, for some reason I know why, but like we have been taught to think that like vegetables are boring, or that kids don't like vegetables and blah blah blah. But I've really learned that it is about how you prepare those foods, those vegetables that matter. And the preparation is what makes the vegetables delicious or not delicious. So let's focus on making meals delicious for a minute. What I do is I like to break it down into the different types of preparation. So if I'm going to make a meal and I want to fill up half my plate with vegetables, I might roast a bunch of cauliflower, for instance, which is what I did this week. And I roasted some cauliflower with some olive oil, and I made like a tahini, garlic, curry, lemon sauce. Amazing. Poured that over the cauliflower and put that in the fridge, and it's like a cold pasta salad. My daughter didn't like it. I am obsessed though, and so I just left the roasted cauliflower for her. I had my special like cold tahini salad, and then with that I also had like a shredded beet salad, right? So alongside with the roasted cauliflower, I roasted the beets, able to make a beet salad out of that. And then what else did we have? I also had a sweet potato soup, right, which is left over from the night before. That's our vegetables. And then literally on the side of that was that quinoa that I was mentioning to you. I turned that into like a little bit of quinoa stir fry. And what else did I have? I think that might have been it. I think that was it. But that to us was a whole meal. You got your fat in there from your tahini or your olive oil on your vegetables. And even I had pepitas or pumpkin seeds in the soup, all of those different colorful vegetables. Some of them are shredded, some of them are just roasted, some of them are pureed, like in the soup. And then even some of them were left raw. Like I left radishes raw, cucumbers raw, tomatoes raw in the quinoa salad, right? So there's different, in that one meal, what made it exciting was the different preparation methods. That's what makes it exciting. If you're just going to steam broccoli and stick it in front of your kids without any added love, oil, salt, or anything like that, yeah, they're not going to like it. I get that the fat and the salt make it taste good, but that's what they're there for. Embrace it. As long as you use high quality fat and high quality salt, and if you don't know what that is, I will give you some resources for it. You're good to go. I mean, that's what makes a well-rounded meal. That's what makes your taste buds in your body and your being want to eat it and want to be nourished by it. And so that's what I would say to you is think about the preparation methods. So you guys, let's list out some preparation methods. What would they be? Steamed, sauteed, fried, roasted. I don't really like fried, but roast is still there. But roasted, barbecued, raw. What am I missing? Pureed. Yeah, there's so many different ways. So when you're thinking about your meals, think about that. How can I make this differently so it's a little bit unique from the other things? And then my last tip here would be, when you can, to cook as much as you can whenever you can. It's one of like my principles. Cook as much as you can whenever you can. Sometimes like this morning, I made the salad dressing this morning because I knew after this I have some errands to do before we see our friends and I wouldn't have been able to make it. So I had time in the morning. I know what I'm making in the evening. And so I help myself in the morning to be prepared for the evening so I'm not stressed. So it's this idea of thinking about cooking as much as you can whenever you can. So if you're going to make a meal for dinner and you're already making a sweet potato soup, might as well double it or even triple it so that you have enough for the next few days. Freeze it if you need to, right? That is a big tip of saving time, to do a bunch in the time that you have so that in the times that you don't have, you now have food because you were being kind to your future self when you had the time. You know what I mean? Exactly. Nikki, you say, yes, for our generation, it's about reversing the negative association with fat and salt 1,000,000,000%. And unfortunately, that's what the marketing companies did to us, is that they demonized salt for a while and they demonized fat for a while. And then what ended up coming up was the carbs / sugar. And so what happened is now everybody's obsessed with sugar and dopamine hits from it. And that is the worst part about food is white sugar. If there's anything to get out of your home, it's white sugar and white carbohydrates. No bueno. There's nothing in that gives your body anything. And that's what I always ask. What is this giving to my body? How is this nourishing my body? And that's how I make my decisions for what I'm going to eat. Salt is essential. Fat is essential. But it's the right salts and the right fats. It's not white table salt, but a sea salt, or a Celtic salt, or a Himalayan pink salt. And same with fat. Canola oil is disastrous for the gut lining, but a coconut oil or an olive oil or avocado oil is what the body needs. So yes, thank you for that point. It's so important. So on that note, I kind of tried to take some of my favorite recipes on my website and put them together on that PDF with links to those recipes. So feel free to download that PDF. Let that be your resource so that you can use those recipes anytime you need. All of them in there are probably under 30 minutes. I want to say some of them have a few links to a few different recipes because I want it to be a well-rounded meal. And if I was thinking about what I'm going to make for dinner, that's what I would have put together. But you can be creative and move it around. And I would love to hear your feedback. If you guys make any of these meals, share them in the group. Share your joy with us, even if it didn't turn out so well. That's okay. We've got to learn, and we learn through doing. We learn through practice. So I totally 100,000,000% welcome that. Yay. Let me know if there's any more questions about meals, anything else that I can share that would be helpful in this regard. It really fires me up. So if there's ever, let's say you have some sort of vegetable in your home and you don't know what to do with it, or you see some vegetable that you feel called to and want to try, but you don't know what to do with it, just ask me, ask us in this group, and I'm happy to send you some resources to make it turn into something delicious. Okay, so I think that's enough about meals right now, unless anything else comes through, which I welcome. What I'm going to lean into right now is sharing with you guys my kitchen alchemy course, if that's okay. And the reason why I wanted to share this with you is because it includes everything that I have learned over the last 10 years of being on this wellness journey, and it's been brought into this course. And the thing is that you know how I've mentioned before that like when you're putting a meal together, it's like you're taking these separate aspects and making it a whole. Well, the same thing applies here in a little bit of a bigger context. When I think about a life well lived, or I think about healthy living in general that we want to like extend to our family, I realized it includes a few things. What it includes is it includes the mindset, understanding that mind is cause and the effect is in the experience, and we need to shift and change our beliefs and our thinking if we want our experience in the kitchen or in parenting or in life to change. So mindset was number one. And I realized that if I give all of the recipes and all of the, you know, kitchen tips to you, but you still have beliefs in your head that says that you can't do it, or that you don't have enough time, or that you don't know what to do, or you don't like healthy food, or yada 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 yada, you won't do it. So mindset is essential. The second one is obviously whole foods, like what we talked about here, but on a more in-depth level, and more detailed level. And then the third one is kitchen workflow, because you guys, like when I was disorganized in my kitchen and I didn't have a prepping station and I didn't have the proper tools and I didn't have the proper flow dynamic and meal prepping and a meal planning, I was a basket case. I never wanted to cook. I would jump all over the place. I'd be like stressed in the kitchen. But when I found my kitchen workflow, that's where ease came in and grace came in and organization came in and joy came in. So that was a really important one. And then I had to include healthy habits, because you need to begin to set up the proper habits to allow yourself to do all these things, right? And habits are going to be inclusive of your self-care, because you need to care for yourself so that you can nourish others and have the energy that you need to care for others. So it's super important. And then the last one in this is nourishing, just straight up learning how to deal with picky eaters, learning how to have a really functional time around the dinner table, really learning how to nourish yourself and your family optimally in the way that works for you guys, like a plan, a system, an approach. And so all of these things together then become integrated, and that integration process is the output of your own kitchen that you love and that you have and that you experience joy in every single day. So this is something that I have offered 4 times now, and every single time I've offered it, it is evolved because people have experienced powerful transformations, and they've also given fantastic feedback, so that I know how to make it most practical, most helpful, most simple, most engaging for you guys. So here I am rolling this out again, but it's completely different than it was before. Obviously the content is the same, but the way that it's approached is different, and this is the part that I'm so excited about, because it literally can take us out of stress and out of overwhelm and out of uncertainty and out of confusion, and lead us to this place of joy, of flow, of ease, of confidence, and of certainty in both who you are, what your why is in the kitchen, and what to do when you're in there. Right? So it's a whole change thing that's happening here, and it just fills my heart with joy. And so now what is being offered through this, you guys, what you get when you sign up for the Kitchen Alchemy is you get videos for every single module, and you saw we had 5 modules. You also get monthly live trainings with me and our group. You get monthly breathwork sessions so that you can fully like release any blocks or resistance to cooking and showing up as your best self every day. And that's also a lot of receiving happens then too, because us as moms, we always give so much. Receiving is a really important component of this. You will also get like energetic upgrades that I offer you, kind of like meditations to help you through this process. You have a consistent community and support that surrounds you. You have detailed PDFs, like a good 20 different PDFs that speak on specific topics about this process. You get workbooks for each module that are very interactive and almost like your own notebook to like document where you're at and where you're going. It is a full like transformation, but I've tried to make it as simple as possible for you so it doesn't feel overwhelming. So it's like one step at a time. I take you through this, and you take it at your own pace. You can start whenever you're inspired to start. You can do them whenever you're inspired to do them. But I'm a really big fan of consistency being your best friend and setting up the habits to get yourself on the path to doing this and completing this and applying it in your life. So this isn't something that happens immediately. I'm not going to say you're going to get the results immediately, but you will experience those many shifts and those many changes and those many steps. And then those shifts, changes, and steps add up to really, really big shifts and really, really big changes. I've watched it. I'm seeing it. It's happened in me. And this is something that I feel very, very blessed to give to you guys and to the world at large. So the thing that is beautiful about this is it's launching in December. It's not even launching today. This is just something I want you to know about. But up above are some links to sign up to be notified. And when you sign up to be notified, you are technically part of like the pre-launch, right? So there will be lots of added bonuses for you, so that you know that you're like well cared for and well loved and well supported on this. And I really feel at this time like there's nothing more important than a village and a community that we know that we're a part of and can lean on and know that we can help each other. So I really want to help cultivate that for you, for us, for everyone, so that we really can bring change to the future generations by us just being who we are and caring for our little beings that are with us and came through us, right? So I'm really blessed to do that. So definitely click the links above when you can and sign up for that, because you'll get all the notifications when it's launched and ready to release. Yay! If you guys have any questions about Kitchen Alchemy, let me know. I will be talking a lot more about this as we go on. It is going to be my focus. I will give some demonstrations and some insights as to what this is all about. Yay! So that's it, you guys. So now, ta-da! What we are leaning into now is the winners and announcing the winners. So as I mentioned, I have this app on my phone. All of your names are in there. Everybody who's on here now, your name's already in there. There's a lot in here. Everyone that I saw that commented or liked since I began this workshop is in here. So there are, how many prizes, guys? 4 prizes? 4 prizes. So what do you guys want to do the first one? Do you want to maybe do the one from Rachel? She wrote an ebook, and it's called like Move Mama. It's like 3 tips on mindful movement, and it's just so fantastic. I was blown away when I saw it. So let's do that one. And so I'm gonna click this. It is the best monthly. Oh, Angelica, you're saying it is the best. Monthly meetings are beautiful in a beautiful community. So much fun and love there. I love you, Angelica. It's been amazing to have you through this from the beginning and to watch you blossom and transform. Like, it has been an honor to just be a facilitator, a friend, like side by side with you as you were going through my course and everything that I offer. And like, it's been so incredible to watch you blossom and grow and just like step into who you are. Like, yes, you're one of the ones who could testify for this because you've taken my course, you've worked with me. So thank you for saying that. I'm so grateful. And I've always felt like those who are meant to be blessed by the work that I do will find me. And I feel like that continues to happen. And then as I help you guys with the work I do, you guys help me and fill my cup because I get to see it work in you and come alive in you. And there is nothing more satisfying than seeing like your soul's purpose, like helping another mom or another person. It is the most beautiful experience that I could ever say. Oh, Angelica, I love you so much. Thank you, honey. So much. Okay. Whew, my heart so open right now. All right. So this is going to be the draw for Rachel's ebook. I'm going to click spin. This is exciting. Are you guys with me? Do you hear me? So this is the wheel. I'm going to click it. Let's see. Ta-da! This is Julie Scarborough. I don't think she's on today, but she was on earlier. Julie Scarborough. So I'm going to write that down. That's super exciting. Congratulations, Julie, if you're listening to this. I'll probably tell her to go watch this after to see her name showing up. Well, that was exciting. Dun, 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 dun. It's my first time using this app, but it's working. So the next one that we're going to do for is the menstrual. It is the seed cycling PDF from Anna, but actually I think what this PDF is it gives you a freebie to, it's not a course, but it's something like a booklet for everything that has to do with seed cycling and your hormones and everything that's essential if that is, if you just want to be educated on it. Like she She's so amazing. Okay, let's do this. Da 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 da. Let's see who is the winner for this. Yes, Maya, you get this, my dear, which will be awesome. I'm so excited for you. You shared about your squash yesterday too. So I'm going to write that down. Maya, you are the winner of that. And I'm going to do a big announcement post probably about this after too. Okay, so the next one is going to be, this one's exciting too, you guys. This is the Positive Parenting Framework book by Lindsay. And so she's going to be mailing out the book to whoever this winner is. This one's really cool. I'm really excited about this. So let's do it again. Ready? Spin. Karen! Aw, Karen. That's so nice. That'll be good for her too. Karen Spears. And then ready? So this is number 4. This is going to be for my Kitchen Alchemy course that I just talked about. I'm giving up 50% off my Kitchen Alchemy course, which is like, whoa, like unheard of, but it feels really right because I love you guys and I value you guys for being here and participating in this workshop. So let's see who gets this. Ready? Aw, Odessa. That makes me really happy that she won. I think that this is going to be really good for her. I'd love to work with Odessa. That's fantastic. I could almost get teary on that. I feel like she is would be really benefited by my course. So that is fantastic. I'm going to definitely let her know about that. So you guys, those are our winners. Unfortunately, no one who's watching right now won, but that's just the way that it is. There's going to be lots more like this coming forward. This is something that I really love to do. I love to bring us all together and have these shared experiences. You guys get to kind of know me and my energy more and our community more. Yeah, it's wonderful. So thank you guys for watching this. Thank you guys for being part of this. This is a little bit of a longer talk today, but it is what it is. And if you guys have any further questions about any of this stuff, whether it's any of these offerings, my course, meals, anything that you're struggling with or going through in your life, I'm here for you. We are here for you. The PDF, or excuse me, the link that is at the top has your gifts in it. It's got the recipes in there. It's got those worksheets from any of the speakers from this week. So there's lots of stuff to explore and dive into and apply. So I hope it's helpful for you guys. I hope you enjoy this workshop. I know I did. And yeah, I kind of feel sad saying goodbye right now. But I'm coming live every week going forward, and either it'll be a training on something specific, or you guys can come and ask questions, and we can just like hang out and like really have some more just helpful content for you, so we can keep this energy high and continue to nourish ourselves and care for ourselves so we can best care for our children. So thank you guys for being here. I love you so much. Angelica says, yay, congrats everyone. Krista says, hooray winners. You're so welcome, Krista. Thank you so much for being here, honey. Thank you everybody for joining us. I love you. Peace be with you. Enjoy a whole and healthy day and weekend, because it's the weekend. And I will see you soon. Bye.